This panel brings together an incredible range of experiences and perspectives from a high-level systemic lens to deep-rooted classroom and grassroots insights, all coming together to explore how creativity and well-being can shape the future of learning. I would now like to call on our panelists. Joining us virtually is Madam Asano Sekhose, retired chairperson of Nagaland Board of School Education, Shekhar Singh Sir, Municipal Commissioner PCMC, Mehek Sheikh, who is a student of Saturday Art class, who was a student of Saturday Art class and now a core member at Nazaria. An educator from Udan India Foundation, Suchitra Shinde ma'am, and Barasaheb Kanke sir, who is the headmaster at Shankarwadi MPS School. To moderate the panel, we have with us Ikpreet Singh. Ikpreet is the Director of Programs at Ekstep Foundation, an education sector expert with over 15 years' experience. He has played a key role in national programs like Diksha, Nishtha, Vidyadan, and E-Jadui Pitara using technology and systemic design to address complex societal challenges. A passionate artist, his work is a part of collections owned by Rahul Dravid, Venkatesh Prasad, and Prakash Padukone. Ikpreet strongly believes in art's potential to shape young minds into creative, curious, and compassionate individuals. And now, I'm going to hand over the panel to Ikpreet.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. Difficult session after lunch, but since we are at Parle, maybe we can think of Swad Bhare, Shakti Bhare, Parle ji. it definitely used to energize all of us. So we can start. Mansi, congratulations to you and Saturday Art Class, and thanks for inviting all of us. It's a wonderful thing to be part of. I just wanted to, before I even come to the panelist, just wanted to, because Kritika mentioned that I'm an artist, and definitely, there are a few famous personalities who have my artwork, but during school, I used to hate doing art, and the biggest reason for that was the art teacher in my school. Now, nothing against art teacher, but she would always scold me and sometimes beat me if the color goes out of the lines and all those things. And it used to take away all the fun and what it was doing to me. It was doing nothing good to my confidence. Because it was more of a drawing rather than art. And when we talk more about drawing, we actually stop thinking about some of the small words written over there, which is well-being through creative expression in education. So maybe I would just also like to shift the focus a little bit, because you've been using the word art quite a lot, and everyone will think about drawing something, putting something together, yes, in a very creative way. But I think, which was a great discussion, but maybe for next 45 minutes to 1 hour, maybe we can think of well-being through creative expressions, because that itself is a wide topic to delve into. I think this panel, as Kritika also mentioned, is very, very unique. And I think this is an exercise which all of us would have done when we started working with students or with a child. We'll draw a child at the center, maybe on a notebook or a PPT, and then we'll draw all the stakeholders that can impact the child. And the first one will be a teacher, definitely child at the center. And next will be a principal, and then we'll definitely move to administrators around them. And I'm guessing everyone would have drawn this picture. Who else I'm missing here? Parent. So yeah, I can be a parent over here, and there are many of you, and maybe so many of us are also parents. Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, we have all the stakeholders in the room who nurtures the child and actually turns them into great human beings, or maybe vice versa. But yeah, we are talking about the positive changes here. So good afternoon, Asano ma'am. Good to see you. Hope I'm audible. I'm just checking.
Yes, you're audible. Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you so much. I was checking that. I'll come to you. So maybe I can just start with a short story that I wanted to share. when I was growing up, it's my own story. When I was growing up, I was never good in academics. The only metric that mattered that time, and I was always shying away from telling my marks to anyone, because we used to stay in a officers' colony in Bhopal, and used to go to a convent school, and everyone will come to kitne marks hai beta, and all those things, and I'll feel shy, and that's how my life was. That, thoda chup ke raho, don't come out, because everyone will ask you or judge you based on marks, because that's how my friends were also treated. Oh, he gets 85, he gets 90, so these are good people and all. And even if someone will come to our place, in the sense our house, even the conversations will be about marks, kya karna hai aage, and all those kind of things. And definitely, I used to do other things like art, craft, drama, sports, and all those things, but none of them mattered. For me also, I was with this narrative that marks laoge, then only you get respect. There's something that I realized later on in the sense after 10, 15 years after passing out from school. My mother used to do a very interesting thing. Whenever someone will come in the house and the conversation will come onto academics and marks and all those things, maybe it's her friend or a family friend who has come in, she will just suddenly say, आप इसके रूम एक बार देख के आइए, जाओ बेटा अपना रूम दिखा के आओ आंटी को और अंकल को. And then I don't know why my mom is saying something like that. So Shekhar sir, just give me 2 minutes and I'll come to you. Yeah. So I would be wondering why suddenly my mom is asking me to show my room. And the moment someone will enter, and then there will be conversations. अरे ये तुमने बनाया है, ये तुमने बनाया है. And then my mother will say, ये देखो इसको पान पराग का डब्बा मिल गया था तो इसने इसको पेन स्टैंड बना दिया. Look, these are all the old calendars. He has converted them into some art and all those things. And a conversation will start. And for me, it was just a conversation. हाँ, थोड़ा ये. बेटा अपनी drawing book दिखाओ तो हाँ, I've made this, and all those things. It's, many years later, I realized that was just a way to maybe just boost my confidence. Nothing else. It was not, she was never telling something else is important. She will also focus on academics. Beta marks now, she herself was a teacher from 1970s and 80s, where marks was the metric. But I think later on she just made sure in her own way, you're doing whatever you're doing, maybe you're not scoring marks, but just stay confident. And I think the moment we were discussing with Mansi, I think that's a very important characteristics when we talk about well-being. If you're confident, it's a very common word, we use it every day, but it's very powerful, because when it is put in a context, I was always confident. I never realized it. So throughout my life, I have done my master's in biochemistry. I never scored good marks, but I always felt confident that I can do something, or whatever I'll do, something will happen. It's not that I've become great or something, but that small confidence was my small superpower that I had. And I think when I read that well-being through creative expression in education, this thing came to my mind that if all students are confident about whatever they are doing, we are not here to make artists. Correct. We are just using art as a medium. But if everyone is confident, I think some good aspect of their well-being can be taken care of. And that maybe could be a small shift in how we look at the next few hours also. That one is art, but how the well-being can also come through art as a medium, and not just art as an isolated topic. Oh, I missed him again. Shekhar sir, can you start again?
Hi, Preet. Yes,
Sure.
absolutely. Sorry for the
No
5-7 minute delay.
No problem. We are definitely missing you here, because the energy in this space is very different, and it would have been great if you were here. You would have looked at the exhibitions around. You would have looked at some of the students and the diversity in the room. But being very mindful of the time, just wanted to start with you. You took a very I am just daring to use this word, a very unpopular decision to hire a lot of art teachers in the system. So just wanted to understand, how this became a priority for you, and what were you thinking? What is the vision that you have behind this initiative? It would be very good to hear your perspective as someone who makes things happen on ground at scale.
So Ikpreet, this journey for me really started about 2.5, 3 years back roughly when I joined PCMC. My predecessor had begun to put in some building blocks for the whole education system overall. And since my first posting, I've really put credence to the whole education, component of the work that we do. So as a municipal commissioner, you're handling almost about 35 departments, education being one of them. But I've been always very mindful of investing more and more energy in the education field, right from my first posting even up till now. So PCMC did give me that, first breakthrough as far as the urban education ecosystem is concerned, which is something very different from a rural education system. Rural education system is governed by a feeling of community, a feeling of village being together, a feeling of, everyone taking care of each other, which sometimes is missing in the urban area. Urban areas, people are more disconnected. It goes without saying. That community feeling lacks. It's not absent, but it is lesser as far as the rural area is concerned. So when we started to think about the whole, philosophy as to how I want to approach the whole education system, I think one of the core focuses that we wanted to keep was to put the child at the center. And in fact, one of the reasons why I couldn't come today, we are awarding our schools. We have a whole huge convention of all our teachers and HMs today from 2 to 5. And we are awarding the best performing schools in various verticals also, and the overall best performing schools as well, and a lot of other things. So the philosophy that we took for ourselves was to keep the child at the center. So if we are the solar system, everyone's like planet, the child is your sun right there in the center of the education universe. And also a rather oft-quoted buzzword, but would use it again, not to leave any child behind. And we very firmly rooted ourselves into that. So that is when we began to think. So we really started with more of an academic focus, if I could put it that way, which is like a pure academic focus. So we onboarded Quality Council of India for academic assessment. We started a whole program for foundational literacy and numeracy called Saksham, and English as a second language and various other things. But we soon realized that a lot of kids whose goal in the life is not to probably be totally into academics per se. They want to be in sports, they want to be in arts, they want to be in music, things like that. So what you were also saying to begin with, I think I also very firmly believe, and it's not to say that we started a programmatic intervention in art only to create artists. Art serves a larger purpose. Art serves a larger purpose which helps you express yourself, which you probably might not be able to express in words, you might not be able to express in actions. Probably you can express it through art. So when we look at the intervention that we've taken in art, or the programmatic intervention that we intend to take going forward, I think it's like a pyramid where the base is there for everyone to indulge in art, to express themselves. Some might do it as a punishment. There are people who absolutely hate art. Some might do it just as a fun activity. Some might do it as a hobby. Over the time, there'll be few kids who will take up art seriously as a profession, who are really good into it, or who were latently good but never knew that they're good into it. I recently had one of my nephews who had never painted, and 6 months back, and we made him paint. And he painted so well that my sister-in-law was saying that I never realized that he could paint so well. So there are a lot of latent artists who don't even know that they could be good artists, but just because they never dabbled into it, probably they don't realize how good they can be. So that is where we're moving. We are moving from a generic, use of art in a generic form, which helps students to express themselves, which helps them understand them better. And then from there also move on to a more specific, more focused intervention for kids who really want to specialize in art, for kids who want to become artists, for example. And it is in that context that last year you said a rather unpopular move. It was quite a popular move. It was well appreciated in the media, and everyone commended us on that initiative. We onboarded 32 art teachers last year, and the result has been absolutely stupendous. I think much more than what we were expecting. Not only they could provide a focused programmatic intervention, but they could spruce up their schools. The corridors are much livelier. The classrooms are much livelier. The school functions are now much livelier. There are much more art events that are happening. We have something called as No Bad Saturday. there are more activities happening around art on No Bag Saturdays. We had an art exhibition about 20 days back, and it was a huge success. I was surprised to see our kids making a Raza-ish painting, the whole Bindu that Raza has made famous, and trying to not just understand Raza, but also probably trying to replicate Raza in some ways. So that really also opened my eyes to the kind of exposure that the kids can have once you begin to have a programmatic intervention. And I think Akanksha has been a very important partner for us in trying to bring in a structure, because you need to have a structure also. There needs to be a structure, and then you need to give flexibility to the students to experiment whatever they want to have. And we are learning on the trot. So this year we are recruiting additional 32 teachers for another 32 schools. So starting the next academic year, which starts from 15 June, we'll have 64 art teachers in 64 of our PCMC schools. We realized that up till now we were giving art material to the schools in general. So starting this year, we've taken a decision. We do DBT, we do direct beneficiary transfer for school books, for bags, for shoes, for raincoats, etc. So starting this year, we are doing it now for art material as well. So art books, colors, and we've divided it as per grade. So the younger kids get your pencil colors, the older kid gets your acrylic colors and the watercolors and what you have made. So again, in the art program, we've tried to divide it as per the grade as well. And that is also slowly helping us identify kids through expressions. I'll end, I think I've overshot my time in speaking, but we also started parallelly a program with counselors last year. And there's an organization called Sangat. They work in Goa primarily, but they're now working with us as well, which is having the programmatic intervention for these counselors. So I have 23 counselors on boarded for my 110 schools. The number is less, but we are taking one step at a time. So currently each counselor is handling 4 schools. And that again is like a pyramidal, intervention, a generic intervention across the school, intervention for the class, and then individual counseling sessions with the kids. And the expression through art is also helping us identify kids whose expression through art also points to probably, some issues which can be addressed later on through counselors. And I think you guys indulging in art know it much better. That art can also help you understand a person's psychology if you give them the freedom to do or paint what they would want to paint. So these are the kind of small things that are coming up. But and one of the things that we've been able to do, I would have loved to showcase that today if I would have been physically there. We've tried to merchandise the art of our students. So we've created coffee mugs. We'll send you a sample, Kritika. We've created diaries, we've created bookmarks, we've created fridge magnets, we've created key rings, which showcases the art of some of my students. And that also has the name of the student, the school, and the standard. So it gives a sense of a pride of our students that their art is being merchandised. And we've taken a decision that for all our mementos that PCMC gives out, it will all be mementos based on the artwork of my students from my schools. So I think that is pushing us. And day before yesterday, we had a huge convention of our school management committee. And one of the school management committee through the flexible funding. So we've begun to give 1 lakh rupee flexi funding to the school management committees. And one of the schools got a whole diary printed themselves, having all the artwork of their kids. And they have begun to give that diary to whoever visitor is coming to the school. So that also gives a good impetus. And recently we could also, along with Akanksha, bring in an ex-student who's gone ahead to become a professional artist who's selling her paintings for 1 lakh, lakh and a half. So I think that was a great exposure for our kids to also understand that it's not just math, science, and humanities that you need to study to make it big. It's also arts. So I think that's about it.
Thanks so much, Hello. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Shekhar sir. It was very energizing listening to you. Definitely, I would like to call this out. Maybe I'm just saying it on behalf of a lot of us that whenever an administrator, an IAS officer talks, I think the focus is largely on the policy, the budgets, the inputs, the access as metrics. But I think the language that you use today is very empowering, and a lot of folks who are over here actually echo with that language. So it's so great to hear that we share a common language now, and definitely in the position where you are, where you can create a lot of impact at scale. I think good days are ahead. Maybe if I can take one more minute and ask you this question, because a lot of us over here also share the common care and want to participate in such initiatives that you are spearheading. According to you, who all can come to you and actually come with this common, around this common care, and come with their offerings, that this is what I have to contribute and would like to collaborate with you, work with you, and make sure things become much better, much bigger. So according to you, who should be coming to you, and what are the offerings that you would love to receive?
Anyone can come. PCMC in general is very open for collaboration. I am specifically very open to collaboration. I've always felt the government can't do the whole hog ourselves. We need to take in organizations, we need to take in civil society organizations, development partners along with us if we are to move forward. Akanksha is a very important part of our entire education ecosystem. The art merchandise that I was talking about, recently we had a whole symposium on disabilities, and we've started a disability center, and we had a whole 3-day national conference, in fact international conference on disabilities done by PCMC. The reason that I'm telling you is that so we had a lot of startups, we had a lot of organizations working in disability sector. One of the organization working was Trickle Your Art. Any of you who watched Shark Tank, she did come on the Trickle Your Art, just recently came on Shark Tank as well, and she was able to create, convert. Her daughter is afflicted with Down syndrome, and she's been able to create her artwork into merchandise, which really pushed me into thinking that why can't I do the same thing with my kids from our schools, because they are also creating art. So that is why we started to collaborate with Trickle Your Art. So I'm absolutely open for any suggestions, any collaborations on this. The only thing that we are doing is that we are trying to structure all the collaborations so that there is some bit of method in the madness that we are trying to do. That's the only mandate. Otherwise, all and every organization, whoever feels like that they can help us contribute in this entire thing, all absolutely open to collaborate further. You could reach me out through Kritika or Jayashree at Akanksha, Saurabh at Akanksha, whichever way you guys feel is good enough for you.
Thanks so much for that offer from your side, Shekhar sir. And I think whether we talk about different departments, you took example of disability, whether it's about markets, when it comes to merchandising, etc., when it comes to other expertise that you have, or theory of change that you have as NGOs also. I think what Shekhar sir is suggesting, that there is scope for everyone to come in and actually partner and make it bigger and better. So thanks a lot, Shekhar sir. Thanks for staying over time also. That's a concern that we all will have, that how
just
to find
parting
time.
comment.
Sorry, sir.
Please, just a parting comment. Yeah, parting comment.
Yeah,
I'll give you a very small example. Recently, in one of our schools, one of our art teachers was enthusiastic enough to involve all the parents in getting the school walls painted. We thought that was like it looks like it's like a very smallish, normal activity, but that helped us bring the entire community together and become part of co-creating that entire ecosystem for the kids. And that is the kind of thing that we really need in urban spaces, because the community feeling is, I'm telling you, absent in urban places. It's very different from the villages I've worked from, Satara to Gadchiroli to various parts of Maharashtra. That feeling of community, if we can create through any intervention, is what will keep us in good stead. And I think art has been a very important medium in us trying to push that. That's all. Thank you so much. Thanks for inviting me today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
But that's a very powerful insight, that how communities differ in rural areas versus urban areas, and not judging, but interventions may differ when there is a feeling of community, opportunities are different over here versus where things are not so. I should not say not so good, but little different. Interventions might look little different, and based on the context, we might have to come in with our offers in those locations. So that was great to hear, sir. And I think from an administrator, maybe we can come to the student over here. So yeah. So Mehak, you have been a star, as Mansi was saying. Do you agree?
I do agree.
That's the confidence I think that all students should have. And now you're an artist also. So tell us about what art did to you as a child or as an individual. What it allowed you to express that maybe you were not able to express using words.
Okay. So I feel someone talked about confidence, building in children's confidence. That's what art did into me. Me speaking in front of these many people is my confidence, and that is something that art has began in. Like I created art, so that has began into me. And I feel there was a time I would like to share a thing. So like I was 7 years old, and we had our first workshop of Saturday art class, and we were asked to create something that is related to our safe space or safe person. And at that time recently, one of my very close friend left me and went. I couldn't share that with anyone, and what I ended up doing is I draw two girls under tree sitting and laughing with a candy, and that after that I felt so much relief. Like Didis came and saw that and appreciated my work, and that time I felt so relief and so happy that I could release my express myself out through the art. So that's how art has changed me and built confidence in me. So that's the power of art.
Wow, and I think the way you're speaking, I wish I had that confidence when I was maybe when I was your age. So, so what changes? One was the change in confidence, but generally, if you reflect back over last few years, and if you want to talk about, let's say, the top three things that changed in you and made you who you are today, and the way you have started thinking now, what could be those three things?
So I feel first beginning with what those three things are. So I am now student of Nazariya as well, and another organization started my fellow. So I work there as a social youth artist. I work on different social issues such as gender discrimination and other stuff. So I feel first is art changed me into a social worker. So I can call myself as an artist right now and into a social field. That's one thing. Then second is confidence, and third would be creating myself, making myself as an ambivert, because I was the girl who used to sit behind in the classroom and used to feel that school is just made to study and not for other stuff. But when art was introduced to in our classroom, I felt that in school we are not supposed to do everything right. Sometimes it can be messy as well, and I don't feel I was just made for marks. I was for many other stuff, and right now I am achieving those things. So I would say these are my three things.
Fantastic. And I think very well articulated, and she says that art has helped me become a social worker. And these are the narratives or the stories that we need to bring out. It's not that art will make you a social worker. For me, art changed my trajectory, and maybe because I practiced empathy because of what I was drawing, what I was discussing in the classroom. This was my path. Maybe, for different children, these paths may turn out to be different things, and hence giving that space becomes very important. And I think this example is a testimony of that, and the work that a lot of you are trying to enable. So thanks so much for sharing that. Ma'am Astano, your hand is also up, and I was coming next to you only. Should I ask my question, or you have a comment to make? Please feel free to make that comment.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, please go ahead with your question. Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
So, definitely you're retired now, and maybe you will be getting a lot of time now to reflect and maybe think that how things could have been different maybe when you were working as an administrator. And that's how human beings are. When things are done, we always try to look back and think through that how we can make it much more better. So you have been listening to the conversation for quite some time. From your lens, which is someone who influences policies, which make sure things happen at ground, how do you think that something like this whole purpose of art, maybe art enabling creativity, wellness, can become part of our lives? When I say our life, students' life at a daily level, how can it be integrated in schooling system at a daily level?
Yes. Thank you for having me. I mean, yes, I've retired from service, but then my mind is always with my students, and also like how students can improve their creativity and come up to the next level, and then how we can create space for our children to develop their innate abilities, and then develop the creativity to the full potential. All these things are always very close to my mind. As you are aware, Nagaland has a rich culture, a deeply artistic soul. Our crafts, textile, songs, dances, and stories are woven into the identity of our people. And at the Nagaland Board of School Education, where I work with the students from classes 9 to 12, I've always believed that education must reflect the richness of our culture, while also preparing the students to navigate the complex realities, the ever evolving world of today. And in doing this, we need to, in order to strengthen the ecosystem of the education, a time has come for us to advocate uh, policy reforms to equip our teachers, then equip our teachers to identify the 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 various abilities of a child, that the children that they have, so that the skills of our children can be developed. And then when we talk about art in that regard, art as an expression of their imagination, and when they cannot write or read also, like in the form of art, children can express themselves in an amazing way. And also, like I'm also a fan of, like I'm very fond of collecting arts. And then like we last year it was our 50th anniversary of the NBAC. So to commemorate that event, we had conducted series of activities. And in that, we also had art competition in all the districts of the state. And then finally, we had the state level competition in Kohima. So their idea was to also encourage children to express themselves. And then, art is not something everybody can do also. But then through art, I find that children can develop their cognitive abilities, like their critical thinking skills, their solving skills. All these are embedded very deeply into art. That's what I find. And in that art competition that we had last year, we gave some themes, like my culture and my identity, flora and fauna of Nagaland, and also the festivals of Nagaland, and the kind of art that are the students of classes 9 to 12 they have done, it's something like it's wonderful. And then we have collected the best ones, and then we have framed it also, and then we have even given out to some of our senior officials. To that extent, we have gone, and then to that extent, I'm also someone who feels that through art we can bring a lot of encouragement to the students, and then the teachers can understand the students better when the students express themselves in art. All these are things that something I advocate. And so at the NBAC, my intention was very clear that I wanted to create learning spaces that are inclusive, empathetic, and that deeply rooted in the life experience of our students and teachers. I knew that for education to be meaningful, it could not be just focused on academic achievements. Yes, academic achievement is important, but then like uh, when we give space to the children to develop their other uh, abilities, the creativity means they're going to fare well in life. That's I very strongly believe in that. And then like we it's time for us to nurture the whole child, not only academic, but then we have to give space to our children to develop their innate abilities. And so like when I was there, it was my goal to bridge that gap between policy and practices by encouraging innovation in classrooms and supporting teachers in becoming facilitators of not just knowledge, but also the well-being of the students. And now we talk about the NEP 2020, a lot of emphasis is given to now we have to shift to holistic development of the child. And to do that, like we our target should be set for to develop the creativity that is there in the child, and also like the academic expectation, the societal expectation. All these are things like we need to consider, and then we have to embed all these things into our curriculum development. That's what I feel. And like in that, I see creative expression as a very powerful tool, as it gives students a way to process emotions, articulate thoughts they might otherwise keep inside, and build confidence in the individuality. Like in the case of Nagaland R, we do have the best students, and we have children with best potentials. But you know, like our exposures are very limited. So like our children tend to be very closed, and then they don't know how to open up, and then their confidence level is very low. So uh, slowly in that area also we have worked really hard to bring about a change into the mindset of our students, but then to build the confidence of our children, the emotion, the social and emotional well-being of the children needs to be given priority. And until and unless we have the children have the confidence in themselves, means like they it will be very difficult for them to succeed in life. That is one concern that I always have for my students in the state. So like bringing creativity, well-being into classroom through journalism, local art, reflective storytelling, or group projects that honor cultural roots will surely help students connect themselves with one another, and it's going to strengthen their ability to think critically, collaborate meaningfully, and solve problem skills, not just for school but then for life. That's something I just wanted to share with all of you.
Thanks.
And
So, ma'am,
yes.
if I can just intervene, because this was very energizing to hear, and I was just thinking that the depth with which you have covered the so many topics that can be related to art. If maybe if you can just ask the AI to just give us the transcript that can be published as a white paper for this topic that we are talking about. So thanks, ma'am, for bringing in that diversity. You spoke about art and well-being. You spoke about bringing the cultural context into it. You spoke about competencies like critical thinking, communication, etc., which is very important 21st century skills. Whether we are a doctor, engineer, an advocate, whosoever we are, we want to develop these skills. And you mentioned how art can actually help us learn some of these things. It was a very comprehensive overview, ma'am, that you presented. And thank you so much for that. I think you have given us a vision to look forward to.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll maybe towards the end we'll hear more from you, ma'am. So we'll move to
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Bala Sahib sir, who is headmaster at Shankarwadi MPS School. Just before I ask you the question, sir, I was, as initially I was mentioning that I was in this officers' colony in Bhopal, and we all were going to convent schools, and there was someone who shifted their child, who was my friend only, from he was not in a convent school, but to a MP government school. And they were at our place, and my father was having a conversation कि अरे आपने इसको उस स्कूल से निकाल के MP गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में क्यों डाल दिया. And I was, I think, in 7th or 8th grade, and he said अगर वहाँ का प्रिंसिपल बहुत अच्छा है. That's what he said. The principal is really awesome, and if the principal is good, he can transform the school. That time I just heard it as a 7th grader. But I think, sir, आप वो principal हैं who transform schools. और आपने एक आर्ट रूम अपने स्कूल में बनाया है. तो सर बहुत ही सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन है, क्यों?
That is in front of you. I am very happy to announce that is a better example you all are looking here. Yeah. Mehak is one of the student of my school. So Saturday art class जो है हमारे क्लास, so Saturday art class is playing very important role in my school. It was started over 7 years. Since last 7 years, we are working and connected with Saturday art class. And Mansi was the first fellow who introduced drawing, how to draw in a different ways. And this is the platform she gave to us कि हर एक चीज़ पे, मतलब अलग अलग चीज़ से हर एक बच्चे का व्यूज़ देखने का अंदाज़ा अलग अलग होता है. सो इन अ डिफरेंट वेज शी डेवलप्स ड्राइंग के माध्यम से उसने बच्चों को अलग अलग तरीके से उनका इमेजिनेशन पावर हो या उनका सोचने का तरीका हो ड्राइंग में कैसे कर सकते हैं, तो वो एक दिया है. और इससे स्कूल को एक बेनिफिट हुआ है कि हर एक स्टूडेंट्स का जो सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस है, तो जैसे आपने महक को देखा हाउ शी स्पीक्स इन इंग्लिश, एंड वी आर फ्रॉम गवर्नमेंट स्कूल्स. ऐसा नहीं कि गवर्नमेंट स्कूल में नहीं होता है, वैसा क्वालिटी नहीं होता है, बट सैटरडे आर्ट क्लास की वजह से हमारे स्कूल में बहुत सारी चेंजेस हुए कि जो हमारा अटेंडेंस था स्कूल का वो एक तो बढ़ गया, और हर एक बच्चे में सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस है, वो तो बढ़ ही गया, उसके साथ साथ उसके इमोशंस, हाउ ही डेवलप्स द इमोशंस एंड पुट अप इन एक्सप्रेशंस वे, तो वो एक हम लोग को बहुत फ़ायदा हुआ है उससे। और सैटरडे आर्ट क्लास जो है द बेस्ट, मैं ये कहूँगा कि कोलैबोरेशन जो क्वालिटी होता है वो उन्होंने हम लोगों के बच्चों के साथ बच्चों को सीखा है कि जिससे पेयर वर्क्स, वो जो भी एक्टिविटी होता है पेयर वर्क्स करने के बाद उनके व्यूज़ कैसे शेयर किया जाता है, वो एक्टिविटी में कैसे इन्वॉल्व होता है, तो ये बहुत सारा सैटरडे आर्ट क्लास से हम लोग को सीखने को मिला है, या हमारे स्कूल को ये फ़ायदा हुआ है उसका।
श्योर। तो सर जस्ट टू इंटरप्ट, ये तो आपने बहुत अच्छे से बताया कि सैटरडे आर्ट क्लास से बच्चों में क्या होता है और उसकी क्या वैल्यू है। आई थिंक वो अभी हमको वैसे ही पता चल गई है और आपने उस पर और रोशनी डाली। बट सर आपने क्यों इस इनिशिएटिव को सपोर्ट किया एज अ हेड मास्टर?
सैटरडे आर्ट क्लास को
हाँ,
कि वही एक प्लेटफॉर्म है कि जो बच्चा अपना एक्सप्रेशन जाके फ्रीली वहाँ सेटअप कर सकता है, फ्रीली अपना व्यूज शेयर कर सकता है। और वो जो रूम है, दैट रूम इज़ नॉट ओनली फॉर ए ड्राइंग, वहाँ पे टीचर्स भी जाके दे केम टू नो कि मेरा क्लास का बच्चा कौन सी चीज़ में आगे है, और वो अपना इमोशंस किस हिसाब से बता रहा है एक्टिविटी थ्रू द आर्ट क्लास, तो ये बेनिफिट हुआ है। तो इससे टीचर को इवेल्यूट करने में अच्छा मदद मिलता है।
okay. Thank you so much, sir. So I think as a headmaster, it's great to hear that there's so much of support for such initiatives. और सर हमारी तो रिक्वेस्ट ये रहेगी कि आप इसके बारे में और जितनी ज़्यादा बात कर सकते हैं और हेडमास्टर से जितनी ज़्यादा बात कर सकते हैं, आई थिंक बहुत ही पावरफुल रहेगा।
यस, मैं तो यही सोचूंगा कि ऐसा बैकग्राउंड नेसेसरी नहीं कि कौन से स्कूल कौन सा बैकग्राउंड में, इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि वो सैटरडे आर्ट क्लास जैसे हर मेरे स्कूल में चल रहा है, तो ऐसे हर एक स्कूल में आर्ट क्लास को इम्पोर्टेंट दिया जाएगा तो बेटर रहेगा, और स्टूडेंट का फ्यूचर जनरेशन डेवलप हो सकता है। सो आई इंट्रोड्यूस एवरी स्कूल एंड रिक्वेस्ट टू गवर्नमेंट कि भाई सब स्कूल में ये ऐसा आर्ट क्लास चलाओ कि जिससे बच्चों को भी फ़ायदा हो सकता है और स्कूल में टीचर को भी मदद मिल सकती है।
थैंक यू सो मच सर, थैंक यू मैम। विल कम टू यू नाउ सुचित्रा मैम। सो आपके लिए बहुत सिंपल सा क्वेश्चन है मैम, आप जो कर रहे हैं, नहीं दैट्स द क्वेश्चन, आप जो कर रहे हैं इतना पावरफुल काम, व्हाट मोटिवेट्स यू, आप क्यों कर रहे हैं ये?
Actually, I have seen many examples. In the last 2 years, I'm teaching with the help of Saturday art class. I have seen many changes in my students. So, students are incredibly changed. I can say that art is not just a subject, but it is a free platform. Their students will feel free, confident, and connect to each other. I have give one example, that is the biggest changes of student, they express their unique ideas and imaginations. So for example, when I say कि draw a monster, so some students are drawn happy monster, some students are drawn sad monster, and I ask कि why you are drawn this, so they said कि teacher monster हमेशा डरावना क्यों होता है, वो हैप्पी भी तो हो सकता है, वो सैड भी हो सकता है, जैसे हमारे इमोशंस चेंज हो जाते हैं. Then I have seen some students are encouraging others. So during the art class, there is a brilliant student and there is a level-wise students. If any kind of students they're stuck in their drawing, others are go and help them. So I have seen the leadership वाला quality मैं उनमें देख रही हूँ, and I'm very happy कि ये एज में you are a leadership, you are taking a leadership quality and you are a decision maker. So ये student के लिए बहुत फ़ायदेमंद होगा जब वो आगे जाएंगे. The third, I have seen students are build their confidence level. In my class, one student, she is coming from Hindi medium to English medium. For the starting year, she always, sitting like shy and silent. She doesn't speak anything. But slowly, when art class is run, she's participating, she's talking, and she gain her confidence level. Now she is much more confident, and she not talk about only art. She talk in English also, Hindi subject also, maths also, and EVS also. So it was credible. And one more change I have seen, they are a good problem solver. uh, I want to share one experience that is very heart touching for me. There is one student in my class, and वो हमेशा ना आर्ट क्लास का मटेरियल लेके नहीं आता था. एंड ऑलवेज आई आस्क कि व्हाई यू आर नॉट टेकिंग. आई थॉट कि उसे थोड़ा जो बैग जो है वो हैवी लगता होगा शायद, एंड दैट्स व्हाई ही इज़ नॉट. बट ही इज़ वेरी गुड इन ड्राइंग, और वो बहुत इंटरेस्टिंगली ड्राइंग निकालता भी था. One day he drawn coins and currency, and topic is the different. So I asked him to why you draw this. So he said कि टीचर, जब भी पापा से मैं कहता हूँ कि मुझे आर्ट का मटेरियल आप लेके दीजिए, हमेशा पापा मुझे कहते हैं कि बेटा पैसे लगते हैं सारी चीज़ों के लिए. सो पापा लेके नहीं देते, कहते पैसे लगते हैं, पैसे लगते हैं. सो दैट्स व्हाई आई ड्रॉन दिस. Teacher, money is too important na for us. That is very, I mean, I'm shocking that moment, and I'm very happy कि, when expressing yourself, we are taking too much. I mean, बहुत ज़रिए हम लोग लेते हैं. एक ज़रिया होता है खुद को एक्सप्रेस करने का कि आप लैंग्वेज को यूज़ करते हैं. एक ज़रिया होता है आपको एक्सप्रेस करने का कि आप एक्शन को करते हैं. बट विद द हेल्प ऑफ आर्ट क्लास मेरे बच्चे ने ड्राइंग का ज़रिया ले लिया था, एंड विच इज़ वेरी गुड, एंड विच इज़ वेरी हैप्पी फॉर मी कि मैं उस वक्त मेरे बच्चे के प्रॉब्लम तक पहुंच चुकी थी विदाउट एनी कॉन्वर्सेशन.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That was such a powerful story, and I think two takeaways. One was definitely it creates a level playing field. I'm not good in maths, but I can shine here in the art class. I think we all know that now. It's just that we have to figure out a way that it happens in every classroom. The other thing is the coin story that made me reflect on the fact that we are sitting here with this authority and with this mindset that we will go and actually make the child do something, or make the child think in a different way, or maybe do something for the child. But I think whatever they will be expressing through art, I think they are teaching us more, and they are actually opening some of the screws in our brain, which can definitely help us elevate our thoughts, maybe do a better job with them. But I think that's the only way we are hearing from them. I think that's the data that we need to see that comes from them, and I think we need to keep an eye on that data when they are drawing. I think that will be mind blowing to evaluate or assess, and then see how we can further up level the conversations around art and well-being. I have the placard saying please conclude. So as we conclude, Mehak, what do you want to tell everyone?
So as we are concluding, so I would like to just tell one thing that is from a long time in my heart, and as ma'am also gave us a story about money, I would say someone also said in the last panel about making career in art. So I would say right now I'm also working with different organization as an intern, and now I'm also taking charge of my own education in some way. I won't deny that I don't need my parents now. Of course I need them, but just lifting up their little bit of the burden or pressure from their head is what I'm doing. And I would say, as sir also mentioned about all schools having art class, that we usually think that art, we say it's an extra curriculum, but I don't think art abhi tak enough bhi hua hai bachchon ke liye. So instead of saying it as an extra curriculum, we can just make sure that it's in our curriculum as maths and science and all other stuff subjects. Thank you.